There we go. Okay, so we're gonna talk about Andromeda. It's a good time of year to see Andromeda. So at 8 o'clock, it's currently dark enough to look in the east and be able to find the constellations I'm gonna mention today in the story. We're gonna start in the northeast with this W. This W is Cassiopeia, and Cassiopeia is a queen. Her husband is right above her, and his name is Cepheus. Cepheus looks like a house. So you've got the W of the queen and the house, upside down house, that is the king. They have a beautiful daughter named Andromeda. Now, to find Andromeda, you're going to go to the east. You've got the bright star Mars here. Today, we've also got the moon, but the moon moves quite a bit over the course of each night, so it won't always be there. But you've got this bright orange star Mars here, and then above that, we've got the square. The square is called the Great Square. It's part of Pegasus, the flying horse. Off of the square, we have Andromeda. Now I'm going to take away the lines for the square since they aren't important in the story. Okay, so we have our square. That bottom left star, that's the head of Andromeda. And there's a set of 2 stars here. And then it goes to a wider set. And then there's a third, even wider set. So this is the family with all the drama. It starts with Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia is a queen. She's beautiful, and she knows it. So she said one day, she was bragging about how beautiful she is, and she said she was prettier than the sea nymphs. That was a mistake, because the sea nymphs are the daughters of the sea god Poseidon. Well, they, of course, were jealous and complained to their father, who, what do you do when your daughters are upset? Well, you send a sea monster to destroy the coast that of the king and the queen. So this sea monster is called Cetus, and he is down here in the east. This is his head. And this is his tail over here. And his body is still below the horizon. So it goes down something like this. And then there's some more stars down in there. This is our sea monster, Cetus. So he's destroying the coast. The king and the queen are all concerned that they're losing money. You know, their coast is being destroyed. And so they go and they ask, what can we do to stop this terrible monster? And they were told, take your daughter Andromeda and chain her to a rock so that the monster can get her. And they're like, this will stop the monster from destroying us? All right, great. We can get rid of her anyway. We don't really care about her. So they chain their daughter Andromeda up to a rock. Now, she was even more beautiful than her mother, but she wasn't vain. So here she is. chained to a rock, awaiting the monster. When along comes the hero of the story, Perseus. So we've got Perseus is right here. He looks like a satellite dish, a radio telescope. So here's the dish. And then there's one leg. And here's the other. So this is Perseus. He comes along. He is just, he's been on all sorts of adventures, just finished slaying Medusa. And he comes along. He sees this beautiful statue. He's like, wow, that's a pretty statue. I wonder why they put it up and put it in chains on the side of, where the water would destroy it. And then he notices a tear rolling down the cheek of the statue, because it wasn't a statue at all. It was Andromeda. Yes, he sees Andromeda, so he goes up to her, and at first she refuses to tell him what is wrong, why she's chained there. But eventually he persuades her, and she says, well, this is what's happening. This monster is coming to get me because and my parents chained me here. I'm a sacrifice so that the coastline stops being destroyed. And he's like, well, we can't have that happen. So he goes off to the parents and says, hey, if I kill the monster, may I marry your daughter? And they're like, sure. We all we want is the monster to be stopped. So he comes along, and I don't know if you've ever had this happen, but sometimes, like if I'm in a car or there's sunshine coming through the window, my watch or my phone, they'll catch the light and reflect the light off of, and then the spot of light will show up on the ceiling or on the wall, which is just reflected from my phone. Well, this happened to Perseus. He used his shield and he angled it just right so that the light from the sun was reflected into the water, and the monster, Cetus, thought that spot of light was actually Perseus, was a person. So he came up to attack that spot of light, kind of like a cat. And Perseus came from, wasn't there. And when the monster came up, he exposed his neck, and Perseus was able to take his sword and slay the beast and rescue Andromeda. And they were married and lived happily ever after. So that is the story of Andromeda, Perseus, Cassiopeia, Cepheus, and Cetus. I hope that you enjoyed this story and will join us next time for another quick constellation lore with Hale Planetarium.